Coucou la communauté des French learners! Vous avez terminé le teen stage, l'étape des adolescents pour les adolescents, et vous êtes prêts à commencer l'adult stage, l'étape pour les adultes, pour les intermédiaires, les élèves, les apprenants intermédiaires avancés. Alors maintenant, je vais parler en anglais pour vous expliquer l'adult stage et aussi vous expliquer l'approche, le processus d'acquisition d'une langue et en particulier du français. anisayel.com pour acquérir le français naturellement. I am now going to speak in English to tell you more about the adult stage and also to continue to explain how the process of language acquisition happens. So, you have now reached an intermediate level. You can now understand everyday conversations. You can also understand deeper conversations. You can understand a lot in French. You probably have started to produce, you have started to speak or to write in French, and in the teen stage, you started to write a journal about yourself. However, you may struggle still to speak spontaneously, to speak without thinking about what you want to say. You may still translate in your head, or you may still struggle, hesitate, because you want to use the correct verb forms, or you have trouble with pronunciation. That is perfectly okay and normal. That is fine. You may think, oh, I have to practice more. I have to speak more, to practice speaking more. Well, you don't have to. You don't have to practice speaking. It is actually counterintuitive. Because as Dr. Stephen Krashen said, speaking is the result of language acquisition, not its cause. It is the objective, it is the result of understanding, of listening and reading, too. It is not the result of practicing speaking. Therefore, what you need is more French input and not more French output. What you need is to keep on listening, reading in French. You need to continue to listen to French and to continue to read in French. You need more French input in order to speak spontaneously, naturally, without thinking, without translating in your head. What you need is to receive more complex, rich French input in order to overcome the intermediate plateau, what language learners dread, the intermediate plateau. So, no pressure to speak. As French comprehension expands and expands, talk will spontaneously appear. How does the adult stage work? This stage is going to boost your French comprehension and is going to give you the confidence to start speaking spontaneously. In this series of videos, you are going to dive into French history and culture. Why? Because according to linguist Noam Chomsky, a language is not just words. A language, it's a culture, a tradition, a unification of a community, a whole history that creates what a community is. It is all embodied in a language. So it is very important that you understand where the language, the French language, comes from and how it developed. That is why you are going to find out about French history and French culture in each session, so that you keep receiving rich, abundant French input, and you also get to know more about France and about the French. I am going to tell you history, the French history from France, because this is where I come from. I come from France, and I'm also going to tell you the French history, how I was told when I was younger. Each session is about a special time or a special woman or man in the French history. There are also sessions about a special sculpture or painting or piece of art or a book or a drink, so you get to know how history and culture are connected. There will be also sessions that are called Questions pour un champion. This title, Questions pour un champion, comes from a TV show, a game, where contestants have to answer a question about culture, history, or geography. So at the end of a period of history or at the end of a number of sessions, I ask you questions about what you have learned, 10 questions, and for each question you have to answer in 10 seconds, quite quickly. It is actually fun, and it will be a way for you to check if you understood what you've learned, what you've watched, what you've read. This time I am not going to use the whiteboard to draw to help you understand what I say, because you have now reached an intermediate level. I will also speak at a faster pace, so that you get used to French being spoken at normal speed. Also, there won't be a glossary at the end of the script, the transcript. There won't be a glossary with the unknown words translated in English, but you can click on a word that you didn't quite understand in the transcript, and you will be able to see the definition of this word in French. You will come out of the adult stage richer. You will know more about another culture and not just about another language. What can you do during each session? First of all, watch the video, listen, and try to understand what I am saying. Again, your only job is to try to understand what I am telling you. You don't have to understand every detail, every single word. You need to understand the gist. There is no need to memorize because your brain is wired to acquire the language. It acquires the language, it absorbs the new vocabulary, the new structures when you understand the message. So your job is just to sit back, relax, listen and enjoy, try to understand. After each session, you can have a bullet journal. A bullet journal is designed to be a visual, personalized way to keep track of information. So you can have a bullet journal to summarize the information you have just heard. You can use colors, you can draw, you can be creative for each session. Also, after you have watched the session, you can read the transcript and you can click on the word you didn't quite understand and read their definitions in French. And you can hear the story again, but it is not my voice, it is my dear man's voice. And you can use the audio sync view button at the top of the page. You activate it to listen and read the transcript at the same time. Of course, all those steps are just recommendations from me. They are all optional. You can also just choose to, again, sit back, watch, enjoy, relax. Do what feels good, because when you do what feels good to you, you will continue your journey. You will keep on being motivated. So, enjoy. Happy adult stage, happy French acquisition. À bientôt!